Good morning from another day in Thessaloniki, and we are just done with our planning for the sightseeing of the city. There are so many beautiful sights, and as said in the last vlog, we want to show you quickly our apartment. This is our apartment which we rented via booking. The link is below, and we have a beautiful terrace here, which is almost bigger than the apartment. Look at this. Not such a beautiful view, but a beautiful terrace. Had breakfast here this morning. And there's a small kitchen here, which is very good to do your own breakfast. And here in the back is a bedroom with more smart poems on the ceiling. And now we are heading to the Hagia Sophia, and that's really funny because Hagia Sophia is normally in Istanbul, and there's also an Hagia Sophia here.
Yeah, but the Turks were very dominant here for a long time.
So there were a lot of Turks here in the past. So let's head to Hagia Sophia.
So the flat is here on this street, and behind me is the railway station of Thessaloniki, and here the buses to the airport also leave. So the flat is in a good area. The area is a bit dodgy, but well located, and it's about 15 minutes walk to the city center.
And we are trying to catch now a cab downtown to the first church, and actually Uber doesn't exist anymore in Thessaloniki. They got chased away by the taxi drivers. And they say also in Athens it doesn't exist anymore, but we will check that out in our next vlog.
Hagia Sophia, which is the original name, was actually built as a Christian church and has a typical Byzantine style architecture. Like many churches in this area, it has gone from Christianity to Islam and back to Christianity. This one looks a little bit the same as its namesake in Istanbul, which is the former Constantinople, and has a lot of the similar structures as the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul.
So in front of the church, when you exit the church, there's this bread basket with little pieces of bread. And I just asked the lady, why do they have this bread offering here? And she said, you have to eat it.
It's holy bread.
It's holy.
But it's not very fresh.
So let's see how holy Marty will be tonight.
Just behind the church, and actually it's under the church, there are catacombs, which we are going to visit now. And it looks a little bit spooky, but we're going to walk in here.
It's nice and cool, refreshing, very humid.
There's a well.
Here. This is it. There's a build of Jesus and a little fountain. Now we are heading to the next. We are heading to the next site. We forgot already where we're going, so let's have a coffee. I guess it's coffee time. Coffee has arrived. Super strong. That's super good. Exactly what we need.
Our next stop is the Palace of the Galerius. So this building, which is not completely excavated, used to be the home of the emperor from the 4th century, and it was used by many emperors as their residence when they were visiting Thessaloniki. And the area which we see actually here is where you see the baths and the peristyle and the basilica is actually, you can see it's part of a bigger complex that has not been excavated. Only this area is excavated, and under the buildings that we see around us you have much more things still to be found. Here you can see on this illustration how this complex looked like in the beginning, and the octagon which we just showed is here, and the water line was really close to this place. Now the water line is much further down because of the sediments coming from the rivers. The water has been pushed back, and yeah, it's somewhere much further there. And this is the whole complex, and we could only actually see this part that is preserved, and all the rest is below these buildings around us. This is the Arch of Galerius. It was built to honor the emperor who defeated the Persians, and only 3 columns are left, and it's covered in marble, like the whole thing was actually covered in marble. And it's from the 3rd and 4th centuries.
When the Romans were in the city.
When the Romans were here.
Just next to the ark is the Rotunda of the Roman temple. That's where we are heading now as the next station. So much to see in this beautiful city. The Rotunda, you can see actually here there's a floor plan, and the walls are 6.2 or 6.4 meters thick, and it was built as a place to worship, and then it was transformed into a mausoleum, and then later it was transformed into a Christian church.
By the Byzantines.
By the Byzantines. And it's also UNESCO World Cultural Heritage, and maybe that's why you have to pay €2 entrance to this place. But it's very impressive. The place inside is very, very impressive, and you can see how thick the walls are. And the part behind me was then later added actually to the whole building for the whole building to used to be as a church. And the cupola, which you see above me, it's beautiful, decorated with mosaics, very, very detailed. And there's a echo also here in this rotunda. And it's really, really well preserved, as well also the mosaics in the arches. And the tower you see here next to the rotunda was not used as a chimney, it was used as a minaret during the 500 years of the Ottoman Empire. This was used as a mosque. So lunchtime. This is a
Gyros.
Chicken gyros.
Greek specialty.
And 2 of those cost
€2.60.
unbelievable cheap.
We are now at the wall fortifications of Thessaloniki city. This wall fortification, which is the northern part here, has been built since the Roman times, and the Byzantines, of course, they expanded it. And here you have a beautiful view on Thessaloniki. You can see the port down there where we were in the last vlog. And here you can see the eastern wall that goes all the way down to the ocean. And down there you can see the Rotunda, where we were earlier today. So this is actually on the right you have the old part, and on the left you have the extension of the new part of the city. We've arrived to the Vlatadon Monastery just next to the Byzantine walls, and this is the only Byzantine monastery in Thessaloniki that is still in operation. It's also, like the wall, a UNESCO World Heritage.
The next church is the Hagia Demetrius, and behind you can see is the Yeni hammam. So the hammam is actually directly behind the church, and we were wondering if the hammam is still open, but they have transformed it actually into a restaurant and a bar with an outdoor terrace and also with an open air movie. That's really well done. I mean, visiting the hammam would have been also nice, but inside it's just bar, restaurant, and then outside this terrace. And wow, look at this church. This is really beautiful, really impressive. With these golden chandeliers and all these marble pillars. And then these beautiful golden mosaic around the altar. Impressive.
This is probably the most interesting site in the city of Thessaloniki. It's the Demetrius church, a huge church, and this is built on the site where the patron saint of Thessaloniki, Demetrius, was murdered in the baths that are underneath. And inside it has a shrine, an octagonal shrine that holds the relics of Demetrius.
And there is a
Here you
picture.
can see he's being murdered.
Wow, with
Blood and everything.
doesn't look really. So also this church, as many other churches actually in Thessaloniki, it was during the Turkish time, with Ottoman Empire time, it was used as a mosque. And the beautiful mosaic you can see behind the altar over there was covered with plaster to hide the Christian symbols.
This is the Forum Romanum. This is in the very city center. It holds these relics outside, and there is also a museum inside to be visited.
It was really nice in Greece. You can get everywhere this delicious frappe iced coffee. So cheers.
I'm more classical.
How's your coffee? We really enjoy our day in Thessaloniki. Even though we lost one day, it's a little bit compressed, so we have to do everything in one day.
Super fast.
Super fast. Thank you, Cap Portugal. Now on our way to the market, and look at these beautiful old houses. It's just, I cannot see enough of these houses.
So this market is the Modiano market. It's built in the 1920s at the place of an old synagogue that was burned down in the big fire of 1917 in Thessaloniki. Now it's currently closed. There is plan to renovate it. It looks very desolated inside, so hopefully they can make something original and authentic out of it. So let's hope next time when we come to Thessaloniki, Modiano market is open. Commercial center, there's also an old hammam building from the Ottoman era. It's called Pazar Hammam, and it's unfortunately abandoned. But you can see the glass bowls on the ceiling that lets the light into the hammam area. We found this really cool delicatessen shop in the center of Thessaloniki, and we found a pepper here that we've been looking for a long time. We will show you in future vlogs what we use this for. So thank you for watching the way we saw it in Thessaloniki. Tomorrow we will travel to Athens, the capital, by train, which is unusual here. So we will show that in the next vlog. Please hit the like button, follow us here, and thank you for watching. Safe travels always. Bye.